Hello everyone, welcome back. Good evening. Today is Monday. We are back with a new week. Today is going to be a decently volatile week as we have been discussing in the previous streams. Nothing too crazy today in terms of movement. We're kind of, same deal, 0% movement. We were seeing something decent in the morning, but nothing too crazy like I said. Overall, our 24-hour high, we were at 92,250. Seems like we were on the right track. Ultimately, we had a dump around, it was in the span of a couple of hours in the morning. Right after the markets opened, we started going on this decline. I'll go down into a 1-hour chart just to show what we've been seeing with Bitcoin. The drops have been gradually increasing from 6, 7, 8, 8. I just said the... Why is this a meme, dude? Okay, forget it. 10 a.m., the biggest drop of them all. About a 1% drop in this span of the hour. Why is it always 10 a.m.? 10 a.m., there's always some sort of a drop. On weekdays, okay? Not on the weekend. Forget the weekend. But, hey, maybe this was necessary. We did end up... I was kind of... discussing this yesterday, small CME gap that we would have potentially opened. That's basically filled up by now. It was a very tiny one. It's irrelevant. Who cares about it? We're done. We've filled it up and we're ready to go. Either higher or lower. Hopefully higher. I'm expecting things to go higher. I really, really hope that the FOMC meeting that's coming up is not just a sell the news event, but for that, we need the guarantee from Jerome Powell that, more rate cuts would still be in our favor. The way I see it, they should be. Inflation has been kind of cooling. It's still there, but it's supposed to be there. Tariffs are not a huge impact anymore. Rather, they seem to be good for the economy as predicted. In the long term, this will be a good thing. Short term, it sucked on April 7. Sure, we were all suffering. Go cry about it. We made a new all-time high, and now we're back to April 7 levels, and even worse for a lot of altcoins. Bitcoin's case, still about 15,000 above our worst case scenario in April 7. We're at $90,000 for the price of Bitcoin, 90,100. So that's looking pretty decent. From here, another thing I was even talking about that Jerome Powell could point toward is the labor market that is, kind of suffering. We're looking at ADP, private job reports. They're not looking too good. And if they are indeed correct, then yeah, we will have to get more rate cuts. Hopefully. We'll see. We are also getting projections for what to expect next year. Also going to be important. So this one's going to be a heavy meeting. Which, I can't wait for it. I can't wait. I do want to see the results of it by now. Come on, just give us the good stuff. Let us go higher. We shall be happy, right? Overall, though, that whole morning, we had a drop of about 2% for Bitcoin from 92,000 all the way down to 89,000, and 89,560 was our lowest point today. We've kind of risen back up. I remember I was rewatching my stream yesterday and I said we were rised back up, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not a real word. We've risen back up. Okay, my bad. But we're on the right track, in my opinion, still. Because we didn't make any lower lows, We haven't really made a higher high yet, but it takes time. We're in a 4-hour chart. Be patient. It takes a couple of days for this to roll out. And hey, even if we do make a lower low, when we're talking about like a smaller time frame over here, because you could argue Friday we made a lower low, and then Sunday we made another lower low. Dude, okay, we made a low on Friday and it was lower on Sunday. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But you can kind of count this into the same thing because all of this that happened in between the 2 days, Saturday mainly, you can't really count that. Nobody trades on a Saturday. It was basically flat and lining over here, the price of Bitcoin. So we will ignore that and pretend this is all just combine into one, mush it all together, and this is your lower low. We're on our way to make our higher high, which I have pointed toward about 95,000. I think is a fair assessment. And my other point was, even if we do continue lower, like we shouldn't see anything lower than 86,600. We should start rising from there to hit the 95,000. I would argue that's a little healthier, but it's going to put us in a little bit of doubt. If this does happen, though, I will be entering. I'll guarantee that. Yes, with a stop loss. Yes, it will be after we have made the swing. What I mean by that is, I don't know for sure. I'm not fully convinced if we will be, like, oversold, so to speak. So, because I feel like we would have to drop much lower for us to be actually oversold, to the point where we start changing our trend over. Flipping it bearish, meaning that we would have to pay attention to this downtrend line that comes from basically our all-time high. I don't think we have any other downtrends from here. We don't. So that's the main one we're going to be paying attention to, which that is where we can see some severe resistance, right? A really difficult barrier to break. And given the time span of this week, the 7 days of this pivot level, the resistance at 95,000, I think that is so, like, it's very likely we're going to approach that level and struggle to go past it. So just be wary of that. That's all I'm going to mention for it. But yeah, after making, if we do drop down here either way, I will likely, did I just put a text thing? Get out of here. Something like this, that's where I'll be potentially entering. Long, stop below this position, take profit, whoops, take profit up there. And yeah, should be pretty decent, right? Don't you agree? So I don't mind if we drop. Right now, I'm not going to enter. It feels to me that we are like in the middle of, what would you even call this? A range? If we were zooming out, yeah, we're kind of like bottoming out here on Bitcoin. We can go a little bit lower. This is me just being really picky though and trying to pick the best entries. I don't want to enter if I'm in the middle of something. Look at the RSI. We're at 47. Almost 48, basically in the center. It's anyone's game from here. It either goes up or it goes down. I know, crazy news, but seriously though, I don't want to flip the coin when it comes to this case. I mean, I could if you were looking at a smaller time frame, but I'm going to keep my visibility on the 4-hour chart for where I will determine potentially good entries, right? So that's the plan. That's a plan for now. Nonetheless, though, for the FOMC meeting, I'm hoping for a 95,000 rise. After that, people would point towards maybe 98,000 and then ultimately 100,000 if we are able to break out of this downtrend line, right? And resistance. Other levels to be paying more attention to, maybe even the $100,000 level is more of a resistance than what I'm talking about, the 95,000. Reason I'm talking 95,000 is because of the resistance and the, what do you call this? The downtrend line. They're both converging at the same time. And if we're looking at this from a technical perspective, like we would have to change our time frame to like a daily chart, we'll just say, right? We have our all-time high 126,000. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. This would be our lower high. Anything that's not 100,000 plus. You could call this a sucker's rally, sure. Until we inevitably make our lower low, which we'd be in the 70s. I'm not going to even try to predict where exactly we would be. But if this is indeed a bear market and we are heading lower, that is something that could play out. Technically speaking, yes, we are in a bear market. I've discussed it many times. Weekly chart is not in our favor. But the fundamentals, they speak for themselves, dude. Fundamentals are telling me we should be at 200,000 for Bitcoin. So, are we criminally undersold? Oversold? Yeah, we are, in my opinion. That doesn't mean I don't think we're going to like 200,000 tomorrow. We're going to need some serious capital to hit the market. We're talking trillions of dollars. I don't think that's realistically going to happen. Maybe it's going to take some time for the confidence to come back into the markets. We're going to have to wait and see, right? Like I said, it's anybody's game here. Okay. But how much lower? I don't think we can go too much lower. There's just no room for it. What's the reasoning? Everything is fine for now. I spent a long time talking about Bitcoin. What else did I want to discuss? Well, there was something else I wanted to discuss, and I've just completely forgotten. I've just been so into the Bitcoin analysis. For news, what do we got? Oh, okay. The mic, I fixed it, kind of. You should hear me loud and clear this time. Yesterday, day before, I noticed my streams were a little quiet, and I'm like, why are they so quiet? It's just, I didn't change anything on my mic settings on my OBS. I checked it here, you know, turned up the gain, turned up the volume a little bit. My yesterday stream was a little bit louder, but I was still like pretty quiet. I'm like, what is going on? Why am I so quiet? I'm literally mouth to mouth, or mic mouth. Okay, pause. I'm like right next to my microphone, and I'm speaking directly into it. Everything is correct. And I'm like, what's the difference? I mean, what's the issue? I go to my Windows settings and check the mic input. It was at like 40%, so I turned that back up to 100%, so now it should be perfectly loud and clear, on top of the extra volume that I added on OBS that I hope works well. I think it should. I think it should be fine. If I'm peaking too much, if I like, my voice gets scratchy at loud talking points, maybe I'll have to turn down, like, I don't know, some of the gain or whatever the case is. But I've got like limiter filters on it, so I think we should be good. That out of the way, let's go ahead and analyze other altcoins. Ethereum 3,110. Decent price action, slowing down at this downtrend line, not too bad. Nothing too crazy in terms of volatility today either. Still on an uptrend and validates 2,877, no big changes. Support level is 3,000. Imagine 300,000, no way. No big changes, really. Solana made a rise to 139, almost 140. You could say psychologically that that is a resistance. Matter of fact, I will draw it here. 140. And we're at 133 right now. We're still fine. We're still on an uptrend. Hasn't invalidated yet. 128 is where that invalidates. You're fine. Moving on to SUI, $1.59. We hit a 165 high today. It's not too bad, but come on, we can do better. We've been at 178. Dude, just get us back to $2, please, for SUI. That would be great. Now that we're on the topic of SUI, I just want to look at Aptos briefly. Have we flipped the trend over? No, we haven't yet. Dude, we're up 3% today and still nowhere near flipping this trend over back into the green. Please, we need that. And if we do, I think I will long Aptos really hard. Like, we're talking really, really hard. Aptos can hit $5 easily. Okay, we'll say $4. We'll not be too optimistic. With that same amount of capital that entered, that was in the market before. If we get that same kind of optimism back, surely it's cyclical. We got to get something back, right? The market cap of the cryptocurrency ecosystem has been on the decline. We were struggling to hold, what was it, 3 trillion? But now I think we're kind of back. We'll see. And yeah, I still think Aptos genuinely good project. But maybe we should stick with the good ones, you know? But for trading, I see really good potential on Aptos still. I know I've been trashing on it because, I mean, deserved. You know what? I stand by what I said. Aptos, this sucks, this price action. But hey, I've congratulated you if you were shorting. Maybe that was bottom signal. 164, that low point. Yeah, have fun with it. 176 is the current price. We're looking to break 191, hopefully, to get that trend flip over to our side. I don't know. I'm probably going to be late on this and enter at like $2 plus. After I confirm that this is indeed the bottom, I will put a stop loss below there. Ambitious take profit and enjoy the ride. We'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. Moving on to Hyperliquid. 29. Was this the level that I wanted to buy? Yes. Will I buy? No, not anymore. We're in a downtrend with it. Where's my RSI? Is this a joke? What did I do? Come on. I'm pressing Control Z. Where's my RSI? Like, actually. Okay, I'm gonna refresh. I hope I didn't delete it. That would be so annoying. to restyle it. Come on. No, dude, it's gone. Why did it disappear? I never clicked close. What even happened? I'm gonna rewind my own stream. What just happened? I've been yapping about Aptos without an RSI the whole time. I refuse to believe that. I've been without an RSI when I was talking with Solana and Ethereum, apparently. Dude, what did I do? Was it in Bitcoin? Oh my gosh, I've been like well over 10 minutes without an RSI. Are we for real? Okay, here's the RSI. 8 minutes ago, it was still active. I drew the projection on Bitcoin. Right over here. I don't think I could undo. Nope. And then what? What did I do? Oh, I see what I did. I was clicking on the lines that I drew. Oh, dude, no way. I was clicking on this stuff, right? I clicked on it and I pressed delete. But apparently what I did was I clicked on the RSI itself and then I pressed delete. And it deleted the whole RSI. Alright, cool. Whatever, man. They're all at 50 anyway for all these altcoins. For Hyperliquid, though, I wanted to look at the RSI, so I'm just going to try to pull this back up as quick as I can. RSI pull-up speed run. Go, time me. This is trash. Change the visibility. Nope. Yep. Nope. Yeah, visibility all time frames. Plots to white. Make it a little thicker. Turn off the background. That's disgusting color. Upper limit red and green. Lower limit. And that's it. Oh, actually that's a bit too thick. There. Okay, we're back. Nothing happened. We're good. Hyperliquid, what was I saying? Yeah, we were kind of oversold, right? But we were in a downtrend as well. We flipped that in the 4-hour chart, and that's not something I liked to see. So what this is telling me is that, yeah, we can rise to maybe 33, if that, and then we'll continue going lower. I don't really think we will. It's a bit rough, and we're still not oversold, even though we're pretty much neck and neck with where we were when we were oversold, if that makes any sense. Meaning that, yes, the movement is toward the downside. If this is oversold, and then this is not oversold, this means that this would be the next oversold level before we could see like a potential bounce. Not specifically here, but like if you time that with price action, you're looking at support level at 2650, right? For Hyperliquid before we start rising back up again. Maybe that is the case. We gotta wait and see, so I'm not gonna be a part of that. I will just wait it out. Let Hyperliquid do its thing. BitTensor, we did the breakout thing, as expected. We had a high of 307. I was hoping for 310, I think, yesterday. That's not too bad still. This is one thing I did want to finally see get broken. It's basically confirmed at this point. Yes, BitTensor is now in an uptrend. Will I enter here? Not yet. I would wait for potential correction to 250s. I'm still looking at the 250s level. Anything below 260, we'll say. That's where I should expect price to be oversold. Enter at the rebound, go long, and you should be fine. Hopefully. We'll see what happens there. Up 2.74% overall. 289 is the current price. Come on, stay above 300. You got this. Chainlink is down almost 2% today. $13.60. Still technically in an uptrend, but we're kind of flatlining a bit over here. Yeah, it's a bit boring price action. And then that's all. Okay, let's get into our news. We've got a lot of Ukraine stuff to talk about. Before we do that, we'll talk about a roundtable that was held in the White House by Trump, talking mainly about farmers and then other stuff. I guess the main takeaway, one of the main takeaways was President Trump and Sanae Takaichi from Japan. Once again, yes, I admire that name. It's such a cool name. The alliance is strong as Japan agrees to buy $8 billion in corn, soybeans, ethanol, fertilizer, aviation biofuel, and rice. He says, you know, Japan never bought rice from anyone else. It's like very important to them. And they agreed to buy rice. I would have thought that, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I would have thought that rice was farmed in Japan and maybe not much in America. Can I confirm this? Harvard. I hope this will tell me what I'm looking for. Leave me alone. Let's look for exporter of United States. Sure. Do we sell rice? Where's farm products? Soybeans, corn, other, wheat. Can I expand this? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Pork, chemical, starch, solid beef, beef, poultry, animal feed. Here's the ethanol, ethyl alcohol. I don't see rice unless I'm blind. How are you even supposed to read all of this? Do we, okay, so I'm assuming United States does not sell that much rice. Can I just search, please? It won't let me. Okay, can I like, okay, nope. Whatever, I don't see rice as a main exporting thing from the United States, so don't know what that's all about. How about if we go Asia and, come on now. I didn't mean the whole Asia sector. Go to, oh man, testing my geography here. Eastern Asia, Japan. What they export to the world should be rice, right? Here's the agriculture. I assume, I don't know. So I'm checking this live. Bakery, fish, paper waste, trunks, chemical fruits, paper, eggs, coffee, seeds, plywood, milk. I don't see rice here either. Okay, maybe I might be looking in the wrong places, or I just don't know. Whatever. But hey, rice is part of it. I don't know why I put so much emphasis on it. I guess because it's caps locked. Oh, and Trump did literally specify that. Okay. But that's the thing. We're selling them our rice. Cool. Great. Thanks, Japan. Another big development. Nvidia did a green candle. The US will now allow Nvidia to sell its H200 chips to China. The Nvidia stock is surging on the news, and this is massive news if confirmed by Trump. The US chip companies may be back in China's AI market very soon. And yep, this was indeed confirmed by Trump, right over here. He has called China's President Xi Jinping and approved sales of Nvidia's H200 chip to China. Trump says that 25% of the revenue will be paid to the US, and the same approach will apply to AMD, Intel, and others. I have not looked at Nvidia's stock today. Let's have a look at that. I have the Canadian version here. Just want to see if we're green. Yeah, we kind of did some green, but we can do better. Come on. That's not too much. We're close to all-time highs either way, so dude, you're fine. This is what Trump posted on Truth Social. I have informed President Xi of China that the United States will allow Nvidia to ship its H200 products to approved customers in China and other countries under conditions that allow for continued strong national security. President Xi responded positively. $25% what? Will be paid to the United States of America. This policy will support American jobs, strengthen U.S. manufacturing, and benefit American taxpayers. The Biden administration forced our great companies to spend billions of dollars building degraded products that nobody wanted. Terrible idea that slowed innovation and hurt the American worker. That era is now over. We will protect national security, create American jobs, and keep America's lead in AI. Nvidia's US customers are already moving forward with their incredible highly advanced Blackwell chips, and soon Rubin, neither of which are part of this deal. Pause here. So from what I'm understanding, are we selling them the outdated chips, which if we are, that is the wise thing to do because we don't want to sell them the more advanced chips. Otherwise, China's going to take that, innovate better than America, and win the AI arms race, so to speak. So if we're selling the outdated stuff, sure. And we're getting money off of that too, 25% of that revenue. My administration will always put America first. The Department of Commerce is finalizing the details, and the same approach will apply to AMD, Intel, and other great American companies. MAGA. Okay, that's what I want to confirm here first. Okay, so we're not selling the Blackwell chips, nor the Rubin chips. I know I was memeing about this. I did kind of allude to this possibility kind of happening. But I was like, okay, what kind of chips? We're doing Dorito chips. Can somebody clip that? That would be so funny. What is the RH200 chips better than Blackwell chips? I hope they know what we're talking about. Yeah, it is. Blackwell chip is 1.5 times faster than H200 chips for training AI systems. And are the Blackwell chips better than... What did he... Kettle chips? Brother. See, that's the kind of stuff I was talking about. Like, what chips? You know, we're talking about microchips. Rubin. What is Rubin? Rubin. Is that Rubin or Rubin? Rubin chips? Yes. Rubin chips. Upcoming. They don't exist yet. But they will be significantly better than Blackwell. Potentially 3 times faster or more. That's good. This is good. I liked that. So what I was imagining is indeed correct. Great. On top of that, just as everyone counted out US chip sales in China, the market has returned. This is good. It'll boost Nvidia's revenue, which I've been discussing as well. The fact that we weren't selling chips to China, and they're a big market there, I was like, dude, whenever this gets authorized, whenever it gets permitted by the US government for Nvidia to sell them, at least the outdated chips, it's going to boost Nvidia's revenue significantly. So we can expect Nvidia to continue to perform well for the upcoming months or quarters whenever they release their reports, right? For months, Nvidia has been forecasting 0 chip sales to China. Oh, that's crazy. So we're going to beat expectations, guaranteed, every time. One of their largest markets in the world was effectively voided overnight when the trade war began. That's also true. That was causing some fears back then, and Nvidia dropped significantly to like $80 per share. Right now, Nvidia costs well over 100. Give me the American numbers. 189? Dude, that's crazy. I was hoping for this to happen. Didn't happen. Never got my chance to buy. Whatever. Let it moon. What else are we... Oh yeah, I was looking for... When the trade war happened, yeah, 85 was our lowest point, April 7. Because we were scared with the fact that we were in this trade war with China and all these other countries now. Nobody was going to buy the chips and Nvidia's sales revenue would plummet. But no, everything is fine now. There's trade deals being worked out. We're seeing what's already happening with China, so we're kind of back already. So we don't got to worry too much about it. Today, the China market is partially returning, and Nvidia has already added $200 billion in market cap. It seems like a small move, but hey man, that's $200 billion. Come on. Prior to the trade war, Nvidia controlled 95% of the entire AI chip market in China. Oh, that's crazy. Just imagine what will happen if these chip export restrictions are broadened even further. Today marks a major pivot point for US chip giants like Nvidia. Jensen Huang has won again. Congrats, dude. What's the market cap? 45 trillion yet? 4.5? We're lacking. Somebody put 500 trillion in the market, please. That would be great. All right, moving on from Nvidia, and I forgot to put on the thumbnail. That's what I was going to put. I was going to put Nvidia on the thumbnail. I forgot to. We did spend a good chunk of time talking about it. Moving on, though. Ukraine, Europe, it happened. I talked about, I wasn't sure, like I read it somewhere, the fact that Zelensky was going to go to the UK, and then I just never heard about it again and I couldn't confirm it, but hey, it actually happened, so there you go. Headline is, Europe prepares for a Ukraine without America. The London summit signals a strategic shift. This is the kind of thing that I was hoping not to happen, but whatever, dude. Let them do their thing. Today's summit in London wasn't just symbolic, it was strategic, signaling that European leaders are preparing to take a more active role in shaping the outcome of the war, especially amid uncertainty about future US involvement. No, I don't want this to happen. Stay out of it, Europe. I know, I understand why they're doing it, though. I just wish they didn't have to. Zelensky met with Macron, Merz, and Starmer. So this is France, Germany, and England to align Europe's position on Ukraine peace talks. The message was that if the US steps back, Europe is ready to step up. Yeah, you better. Macron spoke of convergence between Europe, Ukraine, and the US, code for "we're not waiting for Trump." Starmer promised a just and lasting settlement. Merz framed Ukraine's... Wait, is it Merz? Yes, it is. Because I was reading this community note. I don't know why they mentioned Scholz. This is the previous German chancellor, which I think he stepped down, if I recall. But now it's Friedrich Merz, the chancellor of Germany. Anyways, back to it. Merz, what did he say? He framed Ukraine's future as the destiny of Europe. Okay, pal. This isn't just about Ukraine anymore. It's about Europe's ability to act without Washington. What is the AA here? The subtext is clear. I think he meant to put caps lock here. Must have been typing on mobile. We'll give you a pass, Mario Nofwal. Europe knows Trump may walk away and they're preparing for it. Ukraine is only part of the equation. The real test is whether Europe can act without Washington. No, they can't. For the first time since 2022, the center of gravity on Ukraine is shifting eastward towards Paris, Berlin, and London. If Trump wins, the burden of leadership falls on Europe. Today may have been the first test of whether it's ready. No, dude. Here they are meeting up. Oh, here is German Chancellor Scholz. It's not Olaf Scholz. That's where the community note comes into play. It was Friedrich Merz. Yeah, that's kind of what's been going on here. There's some more small details to talk about here. Okay, I don't know. Just trying to see if there's anything relevant other than stuff we've already talked about. Yeah, there's nothing relevant here, dude. Zelensky dismissing Starmer. Looks like he has eaten lemons. Why? Because he didn't get any money. Zelensky stated that Ukraine has no right under its constitution, international law, or moral law to abandon its territories. You're going to have to. In order to end the war, I think you have to. There's no other way. He also stated that there are strong disagreements between the USA and Ukraine regarding the withdrawal of Ukrainian armed forces from the parts of Donbass controlled by Ukraine. Yeah, basically what I've been saying. It's because it seems like Ukraine feels that the United States is aligning more with Russia's interests over Ukraine's interests. And that is why we see Zelensky running across the whole continent of Europe to try to get something out of all these leaders. That's the purpose of this meeting over here. And that's why he is also going to Brussels to, where is Brussels? Someplace in Europe. Come on. We talk about it here somewhere. Somebody mentioned it. Where is it? Where is Brussels, dude? Do I have to look this up? Okay. I'm looking it up. Brussels. Is it in Spain? Belgium. Okay. They went to Belgium. He went to Belgium. The American plan has been reduced to 20 points. I thought it was 19, but now I guess it's 20. Of the original 28 points, which we have gone over. There is no compromise on the territories. Part of the deal is that Ukraine is going to have to surrender some of the lost territory, and they don't want to do that. And Europe doesn't feel that they want Ukraine to do that either. They're telling them, no, cancel the deal. You have to keep all of your territory, your original territory. Otherwise, there's no end to the war. But then the war is just going to continue. Russia wants to keep that territory that they've conquered. Ukraine is going to eventually be forced to give it up, in my opinion. And yeah. Yep, that's something they're going to have to do. Trump fires shot at European Union with a repost mocking impotent Europeans. So obviously Trump is not too happy with this. Europe's endless attempts to block peace have made them irrelevant. He reposted this article from the New York Post. Interesting. Zelensky just touched down in Brussels. A chilly reception on the tarmac, then more meetings with Rutte and von der Leyen, the same impotent Europeans Trump just posted about. The whole thing with the territory is that all these European leaders see that, hey, if Russia can just do this war and steal the land, what's stopping them from just conquering the rest of the European continent? Which, no, dude, they're not going to do that. They're struggling with Ukraine. They're not going to attack an actual NATO country anywhere else in Europe. I don't know, maybe that will be their target. Non-NATO countries belong to Russia now because they're scared that those countries will join NATO. Dude, who knows? Von der Leyen says, as peace talks are ongoing, the European Union ironclad remains in its support for Ukraine. Yeah, sure. Ukraine's sovereignty must be respected. Security must be guaranteed. But you're going to have to concede something, in my opinion. Just focus on suing Twitter, please. We're going to ignore that. The European Union planned reparations loan for Ukraine. Every nation must contribute, I'm not going to read this, but a couple billion and million euros. Smaller countries giving less. The EU will loan these funds to Ukraine and hopes to justify the acquisition of Russian frozen assets. It's not for Ukraine, it's just a way to justify stealing from Russia. Apparently France, Belgium, and Hungary and Slovakia have pushed back. Well, we'll see. I don't know. Also, yeah, part of this has to do with like the Point 14 from the 28 peace agreement. The $100 billion of frozen assets to help rebuild. Is this even going to total to that amount? Yeah, it does. It well surpasses that. Hey, they've got the money. Who knows, man? So far, Russia is also still seizing territory in Ukraine at its fastest pace since 2022. In November alone, Russian forces captured over 200 square miles, double the territory taken the month before. Dude, they're losing the war. Just hurry up, figure something out, give up what you gotta give up, and cope, seethe, and mauled, let the war end, please. Ukrainian monitor Deep State confirms the surge, while other analysts report even higher figures. The gains are likely to persuade Trump that peace should be set on Russia's terms, and that sending weapons and aid to Kyiv is a waste, per the paper. At this pace, Russia could seize the remaining parts of the Donbass region within roughly 9 months. Hey, okay, well. Oh, dude, this is a lot of territory. Is it? Is this? No, this is Ukraine. Right? Do I have to pull out the map again? I'm not pulling out the map. You guys get the point. They're losing the war. They're gonna have to do something. Ukraine. Moving on. The US hiring is slowing at an alarming rate. So please cut the rates. US-based employers have announced plans to add 497,000 jobs year to date, the weakest total since 2010, when 392,000 hires were planned in the first 11 months of the year. This also marks a 35% decline from the 761,000. Dude, one of my math is not working, my brain. Announced during the same period in 2024. So basically, hiring is now on track for its 5th consecutive annual decline. Not a lot of hiring going on. In November, companies announced just 9,074 hiring plans, the second lowest for this month since at least 2016. Meanwhile, seasonal hiring intentions fell to 372,000, the lowest on record since data collection began in 2012, with no new announcements in November. Bottom line, US hiring demand is at crisis levels. What plays a big part in this? I'm guessing like the inflation, the economy, not good. People are borrowing less, rates are too high. You can't spend too much on hiring employees, and also AI just taking over a lot of jobs. Why hire someone when AI can do it better and flawlessly, and you can automate it, and it won't beg for a break, you know? Moving on from that, Michael Saylor just bought a huge amount of Bitcoin. This one's impressive. This is the kind of stuff I want to see. These huge buys. $963 million worth of Bitcoin at an average price of $90,615. He now currently holds $60 billion worth of Bitcoin, acquired at an average price of $74,696, which that is a total of 10,624 Bitcoins that was purchased. Here's the confirmation of the post. Yeah, it's almost $1 billion, dude. That's not too bad. Even Andrew Tate is impressed, but he points something out. I'm huge on Bitcoin, but MicroStrategy buys 10K BTC in a single day and the price doesn't move? Explain that to me. It's OTC, Andrew Tate, that's why. And even so, I would assume, yeah, I think the price did move with a $1 billion buy. Bitcoin's a huge asset. $1 billion change in the market cap. It's not going to be a huge move, but it's a move. And I would assume it would have been around one of these movements over here, because we did see a decent pump to 92,000 ultimately at the end of the day. So, yeah. The 10 a.m. phenomenon. I've noticed this too, and other people have, and I'm happy that they have, because I'm glad I'm not the only one. I'm not going crazy here. Why Bitcoin always dumps at 10 a.m. when the US market opens. Today, Bitcoin erased 16 hours of gains in just 20 minutes after the US market opened. Since early November, Bitcoin has dumped most of the time after US market opens. Same thing happened in Q2 and Q3. I've noticed that too. Zero Hedge has been calling this out repeatedly. Maybe I got the idea from this, I don't recall. I don't know, it was literally a personal observation that I noticed, and I pointed out to you guys before in previous streams. He thinks that Jane Street is the most likely entity doing this. When you look at the chart, the pattern is too consistent to ignore. A clean wipeout within an hour of the market opening, followed by slow recovery. That's classic high-frequency execution, and it fits their profile. Jane Street is one of the largest high-frequency trading firms in the world. They have the speed and liquidity to move markets for a few minutes. The behavior looks simple. You dump Bitcoin at the open, push the price into liquidity pockets, re-enter lower, and repeat that daily. Hey, that's free money glitch. That's crazy. And by doing this, they've accumulated billions in Bitcoin. As of now, Jane Street holds $2.5 billion worth of BlackRock's IBIT ETF, their fifth largest position. This means most of the dump in Bitcoin isn't due to macro weakness, but due to manipulation by one major entity. And once these big players are done with buying, Bitcoin will continue its upward momentum. Let's hope so, dude. Here's the proof, I guess, if you understand this. I don't. But yeah, the 10 a.m. movement, it's pretty obvious. I've pointed it out too. A lot of days, you're going to notice, go to the 10 a.m. candle, it's going to be red on a weekday, right? There are some days where it's like significantly green, but most days it's just red. Was this 10 a.m.? This is 7 p.m. This is over the weekend. 12, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm just not going to find any examples, which is just perfect. Let me go to 10 a.m. here. This 10 a.m. was green. It would have been around here, I think, is when I really noticed it. Here's a perfect example. 10 a.m. candle, 2% down on Bitcoin. The only red candle in that whole day, or a significant one at least. Hi, Chad Jeets, welcome. 10 a.m. before this, also red, and then it kept extending throughout the rest of the days. This is a 10 a.m. candle, easily identifiable. This was a green 10 a.m. candle. I think these were the examples I was showing when I was talking about this a couple streams ago. So anything around, any stream around 21st, 20th of November, look for that one as reference. 10 a.m. red candle. Nothing too crazy though. Yeah, so that kind of stuff, right? I'm just going to stop going through more examples. But it's a trend that we've been noticing. Bitmine also bought some more Ethereum. It wasn't just Michael Saylor buying Bitcoin, but yeah, Tom Lee doing his thing. They bought 138,452 Ethereum this past week. They hold also 193 Bitcoins, which is $1 billion in cash, and $36 million in equity positions, bringing their total assets to $13 billion. Good. Corporations accumulating Bitcoin while retail thinks a bear market is coming soon. In my opinion, we are in the bear market. Maybe it's a small one, maybe it's a temporary one. Who knows? The cycle is indeed different. Everybody's pointed that out. I'll talk more about it in another post. Let me go through this first. Jamie Dimon says blockchain is real and now it's becoming more effective and more efficient after JP Morgan moved $16 trillion in one day. Dimon also revealed on Fox Business that they are working on stablecoin and exploring tokenization. The guy that hated it all, now he's pro crypto. It's clear manipulation. JP Morgan was the biggest pusher of the narrative that, oh, MicroStrategy bad and treasury firm and they're getting removed from the indices, making Bitcoin crash to 80,000. And then later on, they're like, oh, by the way, we're making partnership with BlackRock and we're buying a lot of Bitcoin. And now we're just kind of coming back up again. Crazy. Bitcoin is entering an elongated bull cycle. Here's the post. Analysts at AllianceBernstein, which manages roughly $869 billion in assets, it's not that much if you ask me. They see a huge growth ahead for Bitcoin and crypto funds. Bitcoin cycle has broken the 4-year pattern and is now in an elongated bull cycle. Hey, if that's the case, I'm all for it. Global capital inflows, end of quantitative tightening that happened at the beginning of this month, and a pro-crypto Fed chair are lining up for continued upside. Kevin Hassett's coming soon. May 2026, prepare. What else we've got? Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citigroup CEO. They're set to meet with senators on Thursday to discuss crypto market legislation per Bloomberg. And I think I did cover this one long ago. I remember talking something about these guys meeting with senators to talk about specifically this topic. Maybe they already did in the past. I don't know. I feel like I talked about this a while back though. It's just a reminder, I guess, that this is indeed happening. The CFTC, commodities, just legitimized Bitcoin as Wall Street collateral. The CFTC just launched a pilot allowing Bitcoin alongside Ethereum and USDC to be used as collateral in US derivatives markets. Good, that means we can finally get that kind of happiness to trade in futures in the US with crypto as collateral. Basically this, but allowed in the US. This means that Bitcoin is going to be treated like real financial collateral, used inside regulated US markets, built for institutions, and not offshore workarounds, like I'm kind of doing, right? Bitcoin just moved from tradable asset to financial plumbing. I don't know about this, but yeah. Sure, great, congrats. Computers are in control. We go up. Yes, sir. I agree. The Securities Exchange Commission, they end their 2-year Ondo probe. Ondo was under some investigation at one point, and now it's over. The SEC has disclosed its investigation into Ondo. Has closed, not disclosed. They've closed their investigation into Ondo, giving Ondo Finance the green light to accelerate its US tokenization expansion. Great, we're getting more tokenized assets, which should be good. BitTensor halving, we have a date for it finally. It's set to undergo its first halving on December 14, cutting Tau issuance from 7,200 to 3,600 per day. Basically, you know, same deal as Bitcoin tokenomics. This marks a maturity milestone as the AI network adopts Bitcoin's fixed supply model. Let's hope it's for the better. December 14, mark that. It's not like we're gonna pump on that day. If anything, we should be rising right now in anticipation of that, and it could well be a sell the news event. So yeah. Ooh, I think I should have read this one first. This is Ondo's happiness post about, yay, we're done with the SEC. Now the path is clear for tokenized treasuries and tokenized equities. I'm not reading all that, but there it is if you want to read it. Argentina will allow banks to offer crypto services starting in 2026. Another one bites the dust in a good way. Bolivia will also integrate Bitcoin into its financial system, according to the economy minister Jose Gabriel Espinosa. Let's go. Seeing a lot of countries starting to adopt it. This looks like we're blasting lasers onto the planet. No, this is Polyglobe. It's basically Polymarket. turned into an orbital laser map. I don't know why I wanted to bring this up. It just looks really cool. You basically see everybody that's buying or betting on Polymarket in real time. WebSocket connection. Every time someone trades a Polyglobe market on Polymarket, a neon beam fires to the market location in real time. Buys slam in from orbit. Big cells fire back into space. Smaller bets. Okay, I'm not going to read the details of this, but it's pretty cool. So, how do I see this? And also, look at the amount of people in the US. Isn't it not allowed in the US? Or am I missing something here? I wanted to open this. Polyglobe? Is that what they looked up? Where do I find that? Polyglobe. Please be a virus. Okay, that's literally not it, dude. I'm assuming it's this one, the pizza thing. Yeah, it's this one. All right. Oh, somebody's shooting betting lasers in... Where is this? Ukraine? You're in the middle of a war and... Oh no, okay, no, this is just things that are developing in the Donetsk. Or people tweeting at these regions? Dude, what is... Trade geopolitics on Polymarket? Yeah, we know, dude. Okay, whatever. This exists if you care. This is really cool, though. I'd be following this project. Okay, what else we got? Google. They're getting ready to start showing ads with Gemini's answers. Dude, the cancer just keeps on growing. We talked yesterday about how YouTube is now pushing their premium thing. The fact that if you pause a video on YouTube, if you pause this video, it's not rolled out right now, but in the future, expect this if you don't have an ad blocker. You pause this video right now for 10 seconds, and then an ad will just play, even though the video is paused. Because they're like, oh, you're AFK, we're just gonna profit off of the fact that you're probably not watching anyway, so we're just gonna play an ad. There's that. You want to remove it, get premium. Pay $10 a month. Second thing, you can't change the speed on the videos anymore. You're going to have to use premium if you want to unlock playback speed. You can't 2x speed, you can't reduce the speed. And that's just... Dude, who's making these decisions, man? But, hey, I guess they got to make their money somehow. But ads on Gemini, dude, come on. I know you offer like a premium service for your AI. I would understand if you want like a more advanced AI. Maybe you could do that, but I mean the way I'm reading this is just that you're just ready to start showing ads with every single one of Gemini's answers. I have used Gemini, but by force without consent because I don't know, it's just integrated into my Samsung phone. Like I search something up with the voice mode and it uses Gemini, yes or yes. So I'm stuck. But whatever. But like, no, what I'm saying is if you're using like the ChatGPT Plus or Grok, what is the... I don't want to look it up. Whatever. You know, the premium versions of the AIs. Yeah, if you're going to do that, give us a trial of that with ads. I'd understand. I don't know. And then I'll just use an ad blocker. No, but hey, whatever. Let them do their thing. At least this one's cool. They're introducing AI glasses. I want to confirm if this is real. Google AI glasses. Yep, it's real. Competitors for Meta Ray-Bans, as we all know. Okay. Well, cool. I like these AI glasses. Looks pretty cool. And these actually look like glasses. They don't look chunky. They don't look like they've got a lot of tech inside them. If they're gonna do what I'm thinking that they're gonna do. But we'll see, man. Is Google even rising on this news at all? Google. Nope, we're dropping. I don't know, maybe the people don't like that, or maybe it's the ads thing, maybe it's the YouTube thing. No, I don't, that's been out for a while, the YouTube thing. Whatever. So yeah, that's what we've got. That's all the news I have for tonight. What are we at? It's 10 p.m. Okay. All right. So, I don't know. What else did I want to talk about here? FOMC meeting, we know that's coming up. Jolt's data tomorrow. I won't be streaming tomorrow. So I'll be back on Wednesday. And we'll discuss everything with this. The projections, the interest rate decision, which should be a cut. Let's hope for no bad surprises. This is going to be the more crucial one, though. Whatever Jerome Powell talks about in the press conference. He's going to do... I bet... Isn't there this thing on Polymarket where it's like... Bet if Jerome Powell would say, good afternoon, at the beginning of his press conference. Jerome Powell... What are we doing here? Good afternoon. Surely it pops up, right? I've seen it before. Come on. No, it's not here. Come on. Oh, what will he say? He will then say inflation 40 plus times. He'll say the word percent 25 plus times. That's pretty funny. Here's the good afternoon. Let's go. 98% chance he will start off the meeting by saying good afternoon. That's awesome. That's amazing. This is free money. Like he has to say good afternoon. But hey, what if he doesn't? You make a huge, you know, counter bet. 75% chance he says the word sorry. Dude, this is the state of the world now. We're just betting on what will this guy say. One word that he says for you to potentially make money. Only a 10% chance he mentions Trump. Are you kidding me? That's guaranteed. He's going to get a question about, or I don't know, maybe he doesn't. That's what a lot of people are thinking. 10% chance he mentions the word Trump. 13% chance of crypto or Bitcoin. Surely he gets a question about that by one of the reporters, is what I'm saying, right? What do the reporters say? Like, Trump said this about you, and then he's going to respond with, well, I don't care what Trump thinks about whatever it is. Or they're going to ask him, right? Like, what are your thoughts on Trump nominating Kevin Hassett as the next Fed chair? What are your thoughts on it? He's going to be like, well, I don't care who Trump nominates after what I do. I'm just going to serve my term to the best of my ability until my term ends on May 2026. I'm sure that's going to be one of the questions and answers. Hey man, we'll see. But you can bet on all this. Waste your money. Go for it. This is excessive though. Mentioning the word inflation 60 plus times. I mean, that is what it is about. But 60 plus times. Okay. And there's a huge bet on 40 plus times. Okay. Tariffs, mentioning projection 5 plus times. Okay. What's the highest percentage here? The good afternoon. The good afternoon is at a 98% chance. That's so funny. I do just want to bet on this. Like, I'd probably make this my first bet. I'm probably not going to get a huge payout, obviously. But I want something close to guaranteed before it happens. Who knows? If I get bro, how do you say the word? I know the word in Spanish, but not in English. That's crazy. Animado. In English. Translate to English. From Spanish. Lively, if I'm animated, if I'm upbeat, I will go ahead and bet on that. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. Crazy. Okay. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. What are we odds? What are the odds? 1 day, 15 hours. 87% chance. Yeah, dude, we're fine. You're getting a rate cut on Wednesday. Guaranteed. You have my stamp of approval. Okay. That's all for tonight, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Do the like and subscribe thing, and I'll see you not tomorrow. I'll see you on Wednesday, all right? Have a great rest of your evening. Bye.